Hello YouTube, JC Sim Gaming here. We're going to be in ATS today. We're going to be doing a channel kind of update today. As you can see, we already have a load that we're in the process of taking. This is a channel update that I need to be pushing out. Let's go ahead and get into the driver's seat here and get going here. A lot has kind of changed. Wrong button. There's been a lot of changes in the past couple of days. One of the big ones being that I am no longer part of Statewide Justice RP. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been doing a lot of thinking, kind of a lot of soul searching kind of that stuff about the server. There's been a lot of changes that have occurred. There's been a lot of RPs that just haven't really been happening, and then those RPs, they're very short, and it's hard to get content out of it. And that's kind of one of the big things with me is if I'm going to be in a server, for the most part, I'm going to be in that server to try to get content and try to showcase that server. And that's just one of the things that just kind of was not really happening. It was getting incredibly hard to get the quality content that was needed. Those of you who were in that seen most recent couple of live streams that I've done with the server, you'll probably have noticed that it's kind of gone downhill. A lot of it's gone downhill since we lost our civs, our main primary civs that we had, Andrew and them. And I had a lot to do with that. I had a lot to do with that. Do I hate that they had to leave, that they had to go? Yes, very much so. I hate that they had to go. But some of the stuff that they were doing, it just wasn't fitting the quality and the need for the server. Did they bring in a lot of stuff for the server? Yes, they brought in a lot of vehicles for that server. They were really good vehicles. With that being said, it ultimately came down to just some of the stuff that they were doing. It was getting to be to the point of it wasn't really necessary, and it was kind of getting to the point of unrealistic to a point. And once all of that started transpiring, the server really went downhill, and it went downhill fast, because once Andrew, unfortunately, he got terminated from the server for his actions with a couple of scenes. And once he got terminated, 3 others left. So right there, we lost a pretty good chunk of our server. We lost every civ that we had. That was our normal civs. And once that happened, the server just kind of died. Most recently, a lot of the patrols, it's been me, Dan, Rusty, Brody, Ace every so often when he can get in. Ruther was in there, and it just wasn't getting to be where it was fun anymore. I'd lost the interest in the server, which is something I never thought I would say. Seeing as I was one of the founding members, deputy director, founding director, really, of the server. And my decision didn't come lightly with deciding to leave. The past month, I've been approached by a couple of different servers. Dylan and Jacob with They were the owners of San Andreas Roleplay that I was in a while ago. Dylan approached me about a month ago, asking me a couple questions, wanting me to really try to come in, that Jacob and him wanted me to become their media director. At that time, I told them no, I wasn't going to go ahead and I wasn't going to do it at that time. And just because of where I was, the way that they were having their staff team. Media director, it's department head, so it's an admin pretty much within their server. And they were having their senior staff or staff, something like that, be where they could only be in this new server. They weren't really wanting them to be in any other server. And that played into a factor with that. When I told them, right now I think I'm going to just kind of, I'm going to wait and see what happens with that, because they didn't have a definitive timeline for when the server was going to open. And I kind of want to see what the RP was going to be like. And that I was happy with where I was. Around that same time was whenever I had me and Marshall were me and him were talking. We got back to talking. He had some stuff going on in his personal life and I was one of the only people he knew that he could turn to help him with the situation that was going on. And that kind of started me and him talking again. At that time, he started talking to me about his server RDOJ Rockville and how things have changed within the community. He showed me the server. He showed me that they had a bunch of new MLOs. He showed me that they had a new fleet and stuff in. That's okay. That's cool. And really didn't want to make the decision then either. Because again, I was happy where I was. And at that time, we were having some decent patrols still. There's some decent patrols. Last week or the week before, Jason went ahead and resigned from Statewide Justice RP. Now, most of you know that Jason is a staple within my live streams, within my videos, with Vanessa Stone, Vanessa Van Gogh, and then the character that he was trying to get to become the sheriff with, Jason Knight. And they've been pretty steadfast part of someone I play with quite a bit on 5M. Jimmy and Vanessa, they were supposed to get married, and then things kind of changed with them, and it was going to there was a whole bunch of stuff that was going to happen with that unfortunately is now not going to happen, or that wasn't going to be able to happen anymore. I wasn't going to be able to have a K9 anymore because K9 Kai, K9 Frost, K9 Vanguard, that was Jason. Jason ran my K9s. And once he left, it really just kind of put a damper in my spirit with the whole RP and everything with Statewide. I really just kind of lost all major interest in the server, because it's, for those of you all of you who know about me and Jason, me and him go back quite a bit. And now, not having him in a server that I'm in and stuff like that, to not be able to have RP and stuff like that with him, really just kind of put me down in the slums with it. And so at that point I started losing kind of interest. It doesn't help that at that same time as when Jason was resigning, that I was telling Dylan, another staff member, hold on, let me finish investigating what's going on with this, because I thought there was more to it than there actually was. this other member wanted to get up in arms about it and not really want to listen and stuff like that. And telling me just let him resign and stuff like that. And I was investigating, and it did now this same member, I've gone back and forth with him quite a few times, and it's happened in server quite a few times where I've had to get onto this member, and that was kind of one of the final blows with me and the server. Plus, when I brought it up to Ace, and then I had Ace tell me that he's just not seeing what I'm saying about this other member. That didn't really help with it. And it just kind of went, okay, Ace isn't seeing it. Ace gets along with him. It's one of those, okay, then maybe I need to go ahead and start looking elsewhere. And that's kind of what's happened, is I've started looking elsewhere. And it's just, I had to look out. I'm having to look elsewhere and stuff. I looked elsewhere and figure out what's going on, what I'm going to do, and how I want to do it. Yesterday on my Discord, I went ahead and posted an announcement of some of my monthly announcements, and it said on there, let me pull it up here. It talked about some stuff, about a lot of it. And let me get to it. Give me 1 second, everyone. I'm sorry, I didn't have it pulled up to where I could look at it at the moment. So in my Discord, my announcements of what I said, that basically basically just a monthly kind of update to the server, for everyone out there. The key thing here that I said firstly, that many of you have noticed the likely downtick in streams on TikTok with SJRP. The RPs, they've been there, but they've also have been harder to get the quality RP to be able to push out. There are times when I record and I get no usable content. There's been quite a few times that I've recorded and I have gotten absolutely zero content that I can use for the server for come on dude that I can use for videos. And I'm one of those, I focus on trying to get the good content. I try to focus on trying to make sure that the content that I'm pushing out puts the community that I'm in, that I'm doing media for, in a really good light. I try to get new members. That's what being part of the media team for communities is you're trying to get members in. You're trying to get more people to come in, see the server, see how the server is, and want to try to make them join, or try to get them to come join. And with SJRP, that was kind of getting hard. That was getting very hard to be able to do. And the reasoning behind it, there's a lot of different reasonings that one can blame. You can blame members. You can blame staff. There's all sorts of things you can blame on why a server is the way it is. And SJRP, it was built on a good premise. Wanted to be one of these servers that you don't typically see. No, you're not. You can play any other server that you want to be in. Kind of free reign on RP as long as it's to within a certain standard. As long as you're not out trying to blow up everyone, kill every cop known to mankind without any sort of forethought in the back. And that's kind of what was going on. At the same time, you gotta kind of understand where within communities how to make that work, and that's the thing with SJRP is that when you have members that they're there for the right reasons. They're honestly they're there for the right reasons, and then there's others that they're not. The civs that we had, they came from a vast majority, or a good eclectic blend of communities, but they were also a lot of QB core servers, and that's not what statewide justice was or ever is going to become. It's going to be a QB box kind of server. Ace would never do that. Ace never wanted to do that, and it makes sense because it becomes a free for all half the time in those QB box servers. You can kind of do whatever you please, and that's kind of where it went with those civs. Now those civs, they were great. I loved them, but at the same time, continuing on my announcement here, there was a lot of issues within the community itself. There was a poll that I put out within the community asking about issues within the community, asking for what members thought there was primarily issues, and a lot of the issues that was within the poll that I put out was that there was a major, or I wouldn't say major, but there was issues with members and staff. And honestly, I saw it all the time. There's more times than not that I was trying to be peacekeeper. And being peacekeeper is a very tiresome job. And I now understand what Marshall said, or what Marshall was talking about when he said, when me and him had our first major falling out, where having a friend up there in the director's team with you, it causes issues. And honestly, it was starting to cause issues. There was issues that was becoming between me and Ruth, or me and Ace were having issues. I've told both of them off. Pretty much the only one that was in the director's kind of team that we had, we ended up getting, the only person I really got along with was Rusty, and that's just because that's Rusty's personality. Rusty just don't care. He's gonna do Rusty. He's gonna do what Rusty does, and that's what made Rusty Rusty. But anyways, those issues plus the other issues that were going on within the community, that's what really prompted a lot of my thinking. Like I said, beginning of this, a lot of my thinking has been within the last month, honestly. The entire month of June, since we really got going. I've been doing a lot of background thinking about, okay, this server, me and Ace having our issues, him not. Is some of it communication? Yes, some of it's communication. Am I one of the best communicators in the world? No. Do I suck at communication? Quite a bit. I do. I suck at communication. Personally, I don't do conflict. I try to avoid conflict. I'm very non-confrontational. Now, if you force me to be confrontational, will I be? Yes. Will I put you in your place? Yes. Ace knows that. Ruther knows that. Marshall, he knows that really well because I've done it before. One of the main reasons why me and Marshall are talking again is because he knows that I put him in his place. And at this point, I feel like he knows he's been put in his place, and that me and him, we have a really good relationship now. I wouldn't say really, really good, but a decent. We get along. We've been playing video games and stuff together again, and getting along, having good laughs and stuff like that, and it's because he knows that I'm gonna put him in his place. And so since that's been going on, I'm just having to take a step back. I'm taking a big step back, kind of, right now. Now, in my announcement that I posted yesterday, me being approached by Marshall, Dylan, Jacob, all of that's taken into effect. Everything there is taken into effect, taken into context, and it's been in the back of my head for a while. And so I've also got to factor in my family and stuff that I have going on in my personal life, and that plays into a large factor of what I have with me. And I also have to factor in my channel and what's best for my channel. And that's where everything that me retiring, resigning, however you want to look at it, from Statewide Justice RP, that's what all gets taken into effect here. Is my channel, my pretty much everything that I have going on outside of here, as well as outside of content creation and stuff. That all gets taken into factor. And I felt being part of Statewide Justice RP, and then the nonsense, it was creeping into my personal life. And that's one thing that when I started doing content creation and stuff, that I said I would never let content creation and stuff get into my personal life, and it's really started affecting my personal life. And that's kind of what started happening, is that it got into my real life, and I wasn't liking how I was feeling. And the feeling that I was having with it was different than with Rockville and Marshall server. The way that I feel, or that I was feeling with Statewide, is a lot different than that. And the amount of stress that I was under with Statewide was quite a bit. And like I said, I didn't like it. And that's where I am. I got into I had enough. And the determination with me was, I just had to. I honestly just had to back out from Statewide. With all of that I just rambled on about, that I've been rambling on about for the last 25 minutes. At the end of my announcement yesterday, I said I hadn't made a decision. Now that announcement, that was at 10 o'clock in the morning, my time. And I resigned from from Statewide Justice at, I believe it was around 5 or 6 p.m. my time, so 8 hours later, I went ahead and made the decision to go ahead and resign. it caught a lot of the staff members off guard. Now, I had talked to them prior. I had talked to a bunch of them prior. I'm going, look, just be expecting something probably to come at some point, because I'm just not feeling it. And that comes after I had talked with Ace. Me and Ace, I talked to him before I did do the retirement, resignation, however you want to look at it. I talked to him, and he understands that it's the quality RP and stuff going on with the server. That was the main thing that was going on. I didn't want to leave. I really didn't. I told Ace, and he was busy at the time when I told him, but me and him talked through DMs that I was going to go ahead and do it. That I was going to go ahead and retire. And it's and I told him the quality and the lack of RPs and stuff. And that's one of those he knew it was coming. He understood that it was coming. And he was one of those. He wasn't going to stop me. He went, do it. If that's what you feel like you need to do, I'm not going to hate you for it. I'm not going to say anything about it. Go ahead. I understand. And that's where it was. Within a minute or 2 minutes of me making the announcement in statewide that I'm resigning, I had Ruther. I jumped into a voice chat, one of my voice chats in my Discord. At this time, I was me, Jason, and Marshall. Me and them were all talking. And he jumps in. Now, mind you, this is after I've told him don't join a couple times. So he went, really? And I told him, and I'm glad I told him, yes. Right now, yes. Do I know where I'm going? No. And honestly, I didn't know where I was going at that point. But I knew I had to go somewhere with content. And at that point, there was only 2 places that I could go. Either Rockville, go back to Rockville, go back to Marshall, where I'd have Jason, or at the time I was part of another, what used to be called Division of Justice roleplay. And they went through a rebrand and stuff like that. And they were called Statewide RP. It was either go back to Marshall or go there. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. And ultimately, it was Jason that kind of talked to me and went, dude, just make your decision. You come back to Rockville, because that's where Jason went. Jason went back to Rockville. He went, just come back over. The RP's been really, really good recently. It's been a lot better than before I had left. Not left, but before I got terminated. Now, mind you, that termination, I understand why Marshall did it. I'm not blaming him for doing it. Do I agree with the termination still? No. Will I ever agree with it? Probably not. But at this point, it's what it is. So Marshall had me do the appeal the ban, approved it. He's let me be part of the media team. I'm Fort Mary 36 within the community now. And being part of media means I have access to all the departments and stuff. So my primary department that I'm with, and that you'll see a lot of my content, is going to be the sheriff's office. Now, that's not to downplay and say that I'm not going to do fire or stuff like that. No, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff. At some point, we'll see what happens. I am part of the appeal is that I'm on a 60-day probationary period. It's one of those, okay, whatever, I don't really care about 60 days. With Marshall and Rockville, 60-day probationary period, I've seen enough times to know that 6 days, it can mean 60 days. It's just going to depend on my RP and how often I'm RPing and how much I'm there and what all I'm doing for the community. And I'm also on a 6-month staff blacklist. And then after that, it's going to be dependent on what head admin wants to do. If HA says yes, I can go back up to staff, then I can go back up to staff. And again, like I said, that doesn't mean that that's actually going to be a full 6 month. It could be well before then. It's just a matter of time and just seeing what's going on. So last night I got into Rockville again, just to kind of see how RP was going, or how RP is. And it was 4 people on last night, and the RP was honestly, it was really, really good. I was actually very satisfied. Like, I wasn't planning on recording or anything last night in Rockville, but the RP quality and how it was, about midway through, I decided I was going to go ahead and record. And that's what I did. I have a 20-minute video that I have to go, or 20-minute recording, 25-minute raw video recording I need to go through, edit, and push out at some point. Now, when is that going to happen? I honestly don't know. Could be this week, could be next week. I don't know. But yeah, after that, the RP it didn't last all that long. RP was maybe about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So it wasn't super long, but it was really good. And so I'm gonna see what's gonna happen. We're just gonna kind of float this boat right now, see what happens, and go from there. I'm gonna try to be bringing pretty consistent content with Rockville again. I may, I'm not 100% certain on if I'm gonna do it or not, but I may go ahead and make my Rockville LEO and civilian operation stuff. I may make that public back on my YouTube channel. Honestly, I don't know if that's what I'm going to do yet or not. I just start fresh, start over, and go from there. Now, with that being said, at this point, I am a official Rockville Department of Justice media partner with the community. With that being said, I'm supported by the community. Do me and Marshall support each other? Yes, but no. Are we official supporters of each other's stuff? No. Do me and him have some collaboration videos? Yes. We have a ATS live stream that comes out. But I think that's edited down. I'm gonna try to push this out. That should come out tomorrow. And the way that we have it set up is that I have it set up to match his when his comes out on his channel. Feel free, go watch his side. For his perspective, it's a live stream. Me and him were both live recording live streaming ATS about 2 weeks ago. And yeah. Me and him there will be a Ready or Not video that'll come out probably next week or the week after, that me and Marshall, and then at some point there's going to be a new game, or not new game, but a new to the channel game called RV There Yet, that me and him have played a couple times prior to when we recorded it. Now, the only reason that I didn't record it prior is because that game I kept having crashes with that game. I think they finally updated it, and I'm not having crashes anymore. Because last night me and him recorded, and I had no crashes. So I might go and see about it, or it might be a quick and easy thing to come to the channel. Quick little filler episodes here and there for me and him. But are we official supporters? No. Are we both back in each other's YouTube Discords? Yes. Is there going to be quite a bit of content between me and him? Yes. Why? Because Rockville. Now, Ready or Not's also going to... Ready or Not, get ready. Ready or Not's going to probably be making a pretty good appearance on the channel. Pretty routinely again. I know I've kind of lacked on Ready or Not for a while. I just haven't really wanted to play. Call of Duty 2, that might come to the channel as well here pretty soon again, for zombies and multiplayer. Now, as far as everything else, my farming sim, right now I do have 2 series going with farming sim. I do have my taking over the family farm with Felsbrunn, and I will have later this week coming out a new series with it. It's called Homestead. It's going to feature the Homestead map, and it's basically going to be us just kind of creating our little homestead and going from there. That's one of the things with me with Farming Simulator that I really enjoy. I really enjoy the kind of road rags, however you want to call it, to riches kind of series, and doing stuff like that. I enjoy it. Call me weird, but I enjoy doing that. It doesn't take a lot of time, yes. It takes quite a bit of time. Now, also, me and Ace, a while ago, I tried to bring Minecraft to the channel with Ace. It didn't really go good. At that time, I don't think I had a lot of views, or I was having a really good view with my channel. I'm probably going to end up bringing Minecraft to the server, or Minecraft to the channel. Me, Jason, Marshall, all of us are playing yesterday on Minecraft. I might bring it to the channel. I might not. I don't know yet. I haven't quite figured out whether or not that's going to be something we're going to do or not. If we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. It's... time will tell with that one. I probably will end up bringing it back. I'm going to probably try to test it and see if I can bring it back. I'm not going to hold my breath too much on it, but if I do, it'll come back. And we'll see what happens. As well as my ATS. ATS is definitely going to continue. This is the Road to Riches. As you can see here, I have $2,000. I'm trying to bring up that money. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened kind of within the game. The game had an update recently, and that kind of stuff. I also have brand new trucks. I went and I got a truck pack off of God, I can't think of what his name is now. John Ron or something like that. John Ruda. It's John Ruda. I would say John Ruda. Off of him, from him, and his trucks are very highly detailed. Like this one, this is the Pete 389 glider. It's very, very detailed. I enjoy driving this truck. It sounds absolutely amazing. I've also got his Kenworth W900 Road Killer, the Classic XL Freight, and I believe it's the Peterbilt Flatnose. I can't think of what it's called offhand right now. I've also got that installed. So I've got some really good trucks that I'm going to be driving here pretty soon once I can get the money. I do have a worker. My plan with this is I'm going to go ahead and probably invest in getting another truck and getting another worker, just so that way I can try to bring in some extra money. I do also have a GPS, and I'm gonna be looking at getting a SimDash app for my tablet that I have, and trying to make it where it's like a button box. That's gonna be a plan here pretty soon. It's just a matter of me being able to do it and find the one that I want. Just because I'm not gonna be able to afford the actual dash box that I want to get. There's a dash box that I want to get. It's like $300. I won't have the money for that anytime in the near future. I did manage to get my. I did manage to get the high-low shifter that I was wanting to get. I went ahead and I got that, so I have that now. I'm actually driving with it currently. Just been trying to get used to how it's shifting. So the past week, I've been driving. Excuse me. The past week I've been driving with it, trying to get used to it, and make sure that I know how to shift it, so I can bring quality and stuff like that. Quality shifting and driving, which is what I'm doing here. So I also do have a new physics mod, and that's gonna be thanks to Ruther. Got me a physics mod for this, and it's a really nice physics mod. So I'm not gonna lie, it's really good. It makes the braking distance and stuff more realistic, and yeah, it's just a matter of knowing how to control your truck and stuff. So I'm gonna have to get gas up here pretty soon. But yeah, as time progresses, there's gonna be some changes. You're gonna notice probably a lot of new content coming at some point to the channel, and yeah. I don't think I have the thing I needed to do here. Stop, truck, stop. Good Lord, my truck does not want to stop here, but yeah, we're gonna keep on doing this. So we're gonna keep trucking, keep driving. Keep talking about changes that are coming here at some point. So that's pretty much all the changes that I have with this right now. We will be here in the future if I can quit hitting random buttons here. Here in the future, there's gonna be some major changes coming. Just know that. Like I said, right now I am currently also part of Rockville Department of Justice again, and this car is not going to let me turn where I want to turn. Cool. Alright, we're going to park up in here real quick. Okay, or not. I'm going to have my engine stall here. Alright, we're going to park up on the side of the road. My mistake, guys. Alright, we're going to go ahead and park up here on the side of the road. But there's going to be some changes coming down the road to the channel. Just be expecting it coming. And yeah, there's going to be some changes coming at some point in the near future to the channel with everything. So, but this is where we're going to go ahead and end this episode with this channel update. I hope everyone has thoroughly enjoyed it.